Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Link to Fast Randomizer League. We have the Season 2 playoffs, and we have division versus division here. We have Illus representing Last Locationers, the winners of the Misery Mire division, up against Hitsuyan1337 of Team Awesome, the winners of the Skull Woods division. It is time for the four divisions to fight each other and decide who is the Dark World Conference champion right here, as we get started with an Ambrosia seed for you today. How's it going, folks? I am Wolfling0270. My co-commentator, Ricky Kokiri, will be joining us shortly. He has something he has to do real quick. And yes, Ambrosia here. So, as you can see, we are starting with a sword. You can see it in our inventory right away. That sword will not be available as we have to do the standard mode settings, which, if you haven't seen Link to the Past Randomizer before, we're basically forced to play the prologue sequence. And until we see Uncle, that sword is inactive. Other than that to note, the bosses have a guaranteed non-dungeon item. They cannot have the map, compass, big key, or small key on them. It is one of the main items in the item pool, of their dungeon pool. So Eastern only has 2 random items, with the third being on the boss, and etc. We also get a guaranteed hint for where the boots are from Uncle. So let's hope it's in Light World and it's Sphere 1 here. As you can see, of course, as well, Team Awesome already has 1 win here. Their Courage game, which was open 7-7 to begin, has already happened. And their Power game, which is Chosen Settings, is actually later. Is actually tomorrow, in fact. We'll get to what that is in a little bit later on in this. After we, yeah, words our heart sometimes. We'll get to that a little bit later. Now, one thing here I'll mention as we are about to get started here, these two have fought before in the Season 1 playoffs, where Hitsuyan defeated Illus in Game 5 in the first round to advance Team Awesome there. And also, Team Awesome, as a reminder for anyone who may not be aware of what's happening with the league, lots of tongues being tied here today. They are currently the Season 1 title holders, so they're looking to go back-to-back wins in the league this year. And we are off. And our hint for the boots, they are in Swamp Palace. Well, we ain't getting those for a while. And we start with bombs, which is an excellent item to start with, as we will now have those 3 bombs that will allow us to get those last 3 items in the escape sequence as we get through here. Map check real quick. Hera was a 5-6 crystal. Eastern was the pendant of power, or is it wisdom? The colors are always mixed up in Link to the Past, from what I understand. Anyway, it's a pendant, and that's not green. Desert, meanwhile, is another crystal. And 20 rubies on the Uncle, and their sword is now active. They can now swing their sword that they've had from the beginning of the seed. Get some arrows as well. No bow to fire those yet, but there's 2 of them out there. Now, this game sequence is pretty much straightforward. It's going to be a little bit of minor movement here. You may see them just little zigzags here. I believe that is a term called pumping, and that just makes them move just a little bit faster. You see it a lot in energy pre-boots. To try to shave just a little bit of time here and there. Excellent kills there. Some more bombs for the escape sequence. And there's my co-com right now, Ricky Okiri. How's it going?
It's going well. Sorry about that. I've been waiting for that phone call for about 2 weeks now. How are we doing here?
Doing good. We got a couple of bomb packs in the chest, and we're ready to go.
Awesome. I saw that the hint said boots are in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but at least we know where they are. Let's hope they're not on Argus.
Yeah, there you go, right? Alright, and hey, we got bombs too. Awesome, alright.
Yep. We had them in the map chest and in Link's house. So
Oh, nice.
we have plenty of bombs.
So it's going to be a nice quick escape. No having to kill all these rats and stuff.
Indeed. And in case anyone's wondering, why would you kill rats when you're playing the escape sequence? They don't drop bombs. In the randomizer, we have actually shuffled which enemies drop what. The pools are still the same in terms of what's available, but the enemies that have those pools are different. So in this case, the guards might have been in the bomb dropping pool, or the rats. And then we could have got bombs that way, but we don't have to worry about that. We got bombs from chests, we're good to go. And one other thing we'll notice here from the escape sequence is we don't have a lamp just yet. And we've opened up all the chests that would otherwise be in a dark room. That sounds like it would be a pretty bad time, wouldn't it? Thankfully, in the randomizer, standard is nice enough to give you a free light cone just for the escape sequence. It's here.
Indeed. In randomizer standard, Zelda's carrying it.
Indeed. You'll have to, of course, come back later with the lamp. If you want to go back through there, but we don't have to worry about that. Because we only need to lift the rocks up at that point.
So
but any other dark rooms in the light world, those are going to still be dark. We still need our lamp for the logic. Unless there's torches in the room, in which case we can now use the fire rod. That's a recent addition, we'll say.
Alright, so the map check earlier went by so fast. I only saw Tower of Hera, but I see on the tracker Desert Palace was a crystal, Eastern Palace was a pendant, and Tower of Hera was the 5/6 crystal, which is nice.
Yes, correct. I managed to catch all three of them right quick. I believe that is the case. Yes, we do get the light cone. We come back to the escape sequence without Zelda. But at this point, because it's standard, there's really no point to come back to the escape sequence unless you need to go gloveless to get the 3 chests in the back.
I think chat was saying that if you, let's say, open the cell, kill the, guard there, and forget to grab Zelda, and come back here, maybe the cone works. I'm not sure, though.
Oh, well, in that case, you can't actually move the throne without Zelda, so...
Oh, that's
actually hard-coded from the vanilla game.
This is true, I forgot about that. I played the vanilla game once or twice. You'd think I remember that stuff. Hey, let's
Actually,
be careful with the hearts there. Oh, there we go.
Indeed. Yeah, there's a couple hearts here, along with a couple...
And nothing in back of escape. Okay.
Well, actually, the rupees are good. Let's limit how much they need to grind for the merchant.
This is true. This is true.
Now, the last time I played Link to the Past, I remember distinctly, because I actually opened every single chest in that run, just so I knew where all the vanilla locations were. And I actually did that one critic clear, too, so I'm happy with that.
So we've got pretty much sync as both runners leave escape sequence at about 6 minutes each.
Yeah, that's a pretty good escape sequence for standard. The only way you can get faster is with the mirror, and that stares off for like another minute and a half.
It looks like, well, I spoke too soon. I was going to say it looks like both runners were skipping the forest, but there you go, up there. But definitely skipping the lumberjack check.
Oh yeah, there's nothing on lumberjack that we could worry about right now, given the fact our boots are in the swamp. Granted, they could know about it and probably plan around fighting Aghanim later, but at this point, it's a minor point, as we get the Moon Pearl right here in the Lost Woods.
Nice.
I think the earliest these two runners will check the lumberjack is if they go up to Death Mountain. And hey, have magic as well. That is a really great find.
Yes, that's so nice to have that.
And there's our map check once again for those that missed it. Desert is Crystal 1, Hera is Crystal 5, and And Eastern is the red pendant. So our runners are ideally looking for hammer and gloves for Dark World access at this point. And then as well, the flippers and the mirrors, so that they can get into Swamp to at least see if the front half has the boots.
Yes, they have both done a map check. Tower of Harris 5/6 crystal, Desert Palace is regular crystal, Eastern Palace is a pendant.
That's right, and those red crystals are important, folks, if you haven't seen the randomizer before, simply because they unlock the super bomb, which gives us 2 more checks later on. So far, nothing of note here in Kakariko Village proper. Let's see what the well has for us.
A lot of health, at least.
Yeah, that's still quite a bit of health. That's actually pretty nice, admittedly. Hook shot! There we go, that's a great find.
And that's puzzle piece number 1 for getting into those boots, potentially.
Probably, well, yes, but it's not the most important piece of the puzzle. The most important piece is actually entering the dungeon.
Well, that was a great deal. Give 100 rupees, get 300 back.
So we essentially made a 200 rupee profit there. That's not bad. Not bad at all. But in the short term, that hookshot's actually a really great find. They're going to be using that to hookshot to anything that they can get a latch on, and that'll let them just get a little bit of burst of speeds here and there. Very helpful when navigating the overworld. No bottle for the sick kid, so we're going to ignore him for the time being.
So far, Kakariko Village is mostly rupees and more rupees. Illus using that to take advantage of a bomb purchase.
Yeah, just topping up before we're leaving. Makes sense to me. Hitsu gonna meanwhile opt to not buy bombs just yet. Probably gonna wait till there's a safe warp. Boots are required for the library at the very least. But it's fairly safe odds that we will have them required for desert access.
Some divergence here. Illus is checking the race maze while Hitsuyan is just plain doing it, blind.
Yeah,
and gets a heart container.
Yeah, and the extra help there might come in handy as well, so not a bad thing to pick up necessarily. Illus opting for South Shore route. Hitsuyan following suit. Seems Illus is avoiding checking the dam for the time being, and that's not something Hitsuyan's gonna do. So a little bit of divergence, not too much right now. Master Sword for Hitsuyan.
In the dam. Oh, and
Glove for Illus. Plus plenty of rupees here. Almost enough to pay Zora. Another 50 rupees right there. That is actually going to be enough to pay Zora combined with the money in the mini Moldarm cave.
And Illus heading back over to the dam now, going to get his Master Sword.
I like this from Illus, because if Illus wants to follow this completely, he'll go over to Agina, which is normally an isolated check, and it'll leave the Ice Rod Cave, which is admittedly another check you don't want to isolate, but it's not as bad as Agina, I'd say.
I mean, especially once they get the flute, Ice Rod Cave becomes pretty, nominal in terms of getting there quickly.
And Hitsuyan's Damn first. Actually, that's gonna pay off for him because he can go to Ice Rock Cave and opt to go to Fake Clippers to check all of the water checks. Except for Zora Ledge, but he can eyeball that on his way to pay the king.
So we're getting the two isolated checks in opposite directions here. Hitsuyan doing Ice Rod Cave and Illus doing Agina.
Both could be nothing, both could be important. We're gonna see what Illus finds first. That's
not important.
Well, it's okay. It's not great, but at least now.
Well, I didn't say it was bad, just not important.
No. And
yeah,
that's another heart container for Hitsuyan, I guess. I notice his health going up.
I like Illus using the hookshot on the bushes and signs to get some speed going. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's what I was.
And trees.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
need to do that more.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to earlier with the hookshot being a nice thing to have early on. That just using the hookshot on the terrain like that you can grab, just to give yourself that little extra speed boost here and there, can be really helpful at times. Sahasrala's has heart piece, heart container, and the Book of Medora.
Interesting. Meanwhile, Hitsuyan is fake flippering to the camper, gonna see what he has.
Yeah, Illus opting not to talk to Sahasrala to tell us where the green pendant is. Not that it matters, the Dark Hole map check will fix that for us. Hitsuyan also getting the reverse plate flipper out of the hobo area.
So camper just had 20 rupees. Chat is commenting that today we're not heroes, we are highwaymen. Taking all this money from everybody.
Yeah, I'll go ahead 20 rupees as well. That's actually kind of hilarious.
So Illus is inside Eastern Palace, which is a pendant dungeon and can't full clear it without the bow. And with this being Ambrosia, that means there's only 2 items in the front that he can get.
That is correct. However, those 2 items could be, or one of them could be the hammer. Hitsuyan now heading up to Zora. Zora is actually in logic. Believe it or not, Hitsuyan came up here the wrong way, but with the gloves in hand, and there's the hammer for Illus. Now, something to be wary here, and Hitsuyan's making this look easy, but if he actually gets tagged by an attack, he'll soft block, I believe, there.
It's an instant death.
Well, I think in the water walk state you get it.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, it would be a soft block.
Yeah, if you're in the fake flipper state and you get hit, that's instant death because it would otherwise be a soft block. But in the water walk state, I believe that you still get hit normally, and then you.
It does trigger the splashed animation, so you end up, stuck because you can't swim. And so Hitsuyan didn't find anything in Zora area at all, did he? There was nothing in Waterfall Ferry, nothing on Zora.
Yeah. Hitsuyan gonna meanwhile take his explorations up Death Mountain. This actually is a good play on paper, because even though we know where the hammer is readily available, Hitsuyan can meanwhile find some regression up here with the hookshot leading over to Paradox Cave.
This using the hookshot in Eastern Palace's dark room just was awesome to see. Can't even see what he's doing, but boinging around those pots, just boom, boom, boom. Really nice.
Second item, meanwhile, found in Eastern Palace. It was a bottle with a berry in it.
Very nice.
Illus can turn that in for another item later at the sick kit, but is going to go straight to Darkhold right now, given the Darkhold access. And this is really early Dark World access, too.
Yeah, 17 minutes in.
Unfortunately, we can't get into Swamp for those boots.
Right.
We need the mirror and we need the flippers. And... no menu. There it
There
is.
it is.
Pendants
So-
in Pod and Misery Mire. Misery Mire being the green pendant. And I believe it was Thievestown as the other 5-6. And Hitsuyan seeing a special item here, wants to go pick that up. It is the bow.
Oh, wow.
Hi, Kibimo giving us the cape, the Quake medallion, the mushroom, a piece of heart, and some money.
So...
Lots of good stuff on both sides. Quake medallion could be required, could not be required. Cape, very nice to have at the very least.
Oh, yes.
Especially with half magic. And the mushroom being another potential check later as well.
The green pendant was Mire. The last pendant was Pod. Getting a pyramid ledge check right now from Illus, while Hitsuyan is checking out Paradox Cave.
And we have a heart container on the pyramid. $20 rupees and a heart piece in the lower portion of Paradox Cave in the meantime.
It looks like we're getting an early cat. Oh, well, it might be a catfish play. It might be crossing the river. No,
Catfish
looks
first.
like an early catfish play.
Yeah, this makes sense to do catfish while you're in the area and then go back around. Nothing so far in the upper portions of Paradox Cave here. I stand corrected. There's Ether. So that's 2 of our 3 medallions found. And on the floating island we have the red boomerang. Not a terrible thing to find. It's nice for menuing if nothing else.
Bombs on the catfish.
Catfish apparently did not like take your gift. And apparently realized, I think he wanted to pull the link there, but fails to realize fuses don't exactly light underwater. Meanwhile, Spiral Cave has a shield.
So yeah, other than that, so Bow and Ether were nice, but other than that, Death Mountain didn't have much of note.
Yeah, but the nice thing here is with the bow, Hitsuyan can go to Eastern and most likely will. And even though it's a pendant, can full clear it.
And get the item off Armos Knights.
Exactly. Which, if it's something that is required, Illus may not go back there for a long time.
Oh, that's very true indeed.
And the cave leads to another bottle with a fairy in it. Illus gonna opt not to pick it up. Makes sense to me. You already have one, you don't need another. Hitsuyan was thinking about safe quitting there. Made the good call. Kana Samaria, meanwhile, for Illus. And you know what? Illus hasn't turned in that mushroom yet either, which means that will allow him to do a trick we call fake powder later in order to check the powder item without actually having the powder.
Very true.
And there's the flute as well! Oh no.
Okay.
Well, this is a problem.
Well, Hitsuyan's about to get his hammer.
Yeah, that is a nice thing, but I'd like to point out the items that both runners have. Collectively, 23 minutes in, and we can do all 3 pending dungeons to completion.
Yes.
Pending minus lamp logic.
Well, yeah, lamp, but yeah, we could do Hera, we can do
We can full clear
Eastern.
Pod. We can do Pod, we can do Eastern, and we can do Misery Mire all in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
If Mire does not require bombos.
Correct. Oh, and mitts. We still need mitts too for Meyer.
Ah, right. I knew I would forget something.
Thank you, chat. I forgot about that myself.
Yeah, I did too.
Do not put that out there, chat.
Alright. Illus gonna opt to continue through and finish off blind here. Nothing really noteworthy in here thus far, just the boomerang.
Alright, but with the hammer, we can full clear it. Get the 5-6 crystal. Very nice Thieves Town situation today.
And actually, that brings up a good point. The sewer bomb's also in play now.
Oh, that's why I misread on the tracker when I said Hera earlier. I thought that red 5-6 was a pendant for some reason. I can't read. Trying to figure out why I was thinking Hera was a pendant.
Alright, we'll see if Hitsuyan decides to finish off the Armos Knights here. Does meanwhile checking the attic. One more item here, potentially.
I mean, he's this far into Eastern Palace, it kind of might as well. But we'll see. It looks like he is going to finish it.
So, that was vanilla, by the way. That is one of the spots you would normally find a pack of 3 bombs. It's funny when you get those things to happen. I mean, there is, I think, what, 9 3-packs of bombs in the item pool, so it's not too uncommon to have it happen. But it's still interesting when it does. Alright, Hitsuyan is advancing to the boss here in Eastern Palace. Something we haven't seen yet.
Ether. When you use Ether, it freezes the most enemies on screen. If not all of them. Which, you know, I need to do a better job remembering. I always get mixed up as to which one does the freeze, Ether or Quake.
Quake does the stun. And the powder effect. Anyway, double boss fights here. Blind is a scheduled fight. Tempered sword from the Armos Knight, so as they go down, nice quick kill.
Oh, that's a nice find.
Not necessarily a required find, but that is going to be a huge combat advantage for Hitsuyan going forward. Blind, meanwhile, only has 20 rupees. Map in the big chest. Illus not bothering to go grab it. Smart. Remember that there was an item, of course, on the boss. I almost forgot, actually.
Right. So, at 26 minutes, Illus gets his first crystal. Hitsuyan does have a dungeon down. If this is a ped seed, that gives him an advantage.
And even if it isn't a pet seed, the Tempered Sword alone is going to be a huge time saver for Hitsuyan. and most notably in the Ganon fight, when if Illus does not find the fourth sword, or goes to Eastern, or doesn't go to Eastern and gets that third one, Illus will be forced to do spin attacks with the Master Sword, whereas Hitsuyan can do slashes with the Temper Sword and do double damage with spins. Slashes do not work on Ganon with the Master Sword. So that alone saves you easily 2 minutes on the Ganon fight.
Hitsuyan does his hype cave while Illus is doing the dig game. And there's always the possibility, of course, that Illus finds the fourth sword somewhere and gets his own tempered.
Correct. But as it stands right now, that is a 1 out of whatever items we have left in the pool. Very unlikely to show up, and it could be in the other in dungeon for all we know, or in a place that Illus will refuse to go and get it just because it's out of the way. So combat-wise, Hitsuyan has a major advantage right now.
So Illus going to activate his flute, it looks like, while Hitsuyan is doing the checks we saw Illus do. Probably going up to Catfish right now. And yes. This is also a good opportunity for Illus to check out the pedestal, but that is a bit out of the way. And while we're waiting for this bird to activate, here's a good reminder for everyone to follow the racers. They're putting on an awesome show for us. And to check out the... I get this right. And for other races, check out the league schedule.
That's right. And as a reminder for those what's happening right now, we are in conference semifinals right now. We have the Misery Mire Division Champions last occasions up against the Goldwoods Division Champions in Team Awesome, and defending Season 1 champions as well. These two teams will fight the other two teams in the other two divisions in the winner of the... I tripped over my own words like 15 times. Let's try that again. The winner of these two teams will fight the winner of the other two teams in the Dark World Conference divisions. That did not come out right. Regardless, the Dark World Conference has its 4 divisions fighting each other for the first time. And the winner of the Dark World Conference will be the Dark World Conference champion, and they will fight the Light World Conference for the Grand Finals. You can see the bracket there on the league page.
So Illus did the mushroom turn-in, only got 20 rupees. Hitsuyan fake flippered into the whirlpool portal to do the mushroom like almost right after Illus did. To get 20 rupees. So Illus is going to do his Death Mountain checks, while Hitsuyan presumably is going to go to the Village of Outcasts.
All games in the playoffs are best of 5, as a reminder for you folks. As it stands right now, we have Courage, Wisdom, and Power representation between the 3 team members on each team. Illus and Hitsuyan are represented by the Pendant of Wisdom here, and all the Pendant of Wisdom players, to start off, will play an Ambrosia Seed. Courage players will play an Open 7/7 to defeat Ganon Seed, and Power players will play seed settings chosen by the higher seed's choice, with the lower seed getting a veto. After those 3 matches, if no winner has been determined at that point, games 4 and 5 will be lower seed's choice and higher seed's choice, with the opposing team getting a veto, and each team may pick a representative of the 3 to take part in those games. But each team member will be playing at least once in a series.
Chat, I believe the Sanctuary Chest is just the map for Hyrule Castle.
That is correct. Hitsuyan did not pick it up because he kept count of his items correctly.
Oh, Illus doing Spike Cave. Gonna use that fairy in a bottle to get through this.
Or the cape.
Or the cape. I forgot he had the cape.
And if you haven't tuned into these races, folks, as you can see, there's already one on Team Awesome. The Courage game between these two teams was actually yesterday. And tomorrow, in the morning, is the Power game. The dependent Power players are going to be taking part in their game as well. So, set your alarms first if you want to catch Game 3 between these two teams. It's an early one.
Hitsuyan gonna check Bumper Ledge, see the fairy in a bottle. Illus doing Paradox Cave, gonna get his Ether Medallion in a second.
But more importantly for Illus, he's on his way to going up to Tower Hera to get at least one more item on the boss. Maybe not the second item as well, unless it's in the big chest, because I expect Illus will Hera pot with hookshot in hand. And we'll have access to the Pyramid Fairy's 2 items as well as a result.
It'll be interesting to see if Illus decides to check out Tower of Hera right now. I think that would be the play.
Oh, it's 100% the play. You are up here on the mountain. You don't have the mirror to go to this place normally. It's your other 5-6 crystal, and you can full clear it with the knowledge of the Herapod trick.
He also has the book. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he's also going to do the tablet too.
Yeah, he can pretty much full clear Light World Death Mountain at this point. And why wouldn't you, really?
Bombs fall from the sky.
They tried to be ice bombs, but unfortunately they thought on a re-entry. Alright. First item location from Illus is the big key. That is a great find. Even though he has it, he is most likely going to do a Parapot. There's the silver arrows.
Oh ho ho!
And yeah, we're gonna see the bomb strats for the Herapod here. Now this trick does require the hook shot after setting it up. So he's gonna get into the specific spot, hook shot into the pot, move left, and then move up, and then he gets thrown into the pot.
That was really good execution. I wish I could nail that pixel that reliably.
Yeah, there is a lot of tutorials here. And that is a trick approved by our racing council for the randomizer. So it's randomizer, so that trick is randomizer legal to use. One more spin attack, and down goes Old Arm.
And here goes the second item, Tower of Hera, never have to come back. No basement, no nothing.
Just a heart container. But that is the second of the 5-6 crystals, which means we have 2 more items waiting for us on the pyramid. Or rather, in the pyramid.
And we're only 37 minutes in. That's kind of early for 5-6 crystals to be obtained.
Yeah, and as a reminder to you folks, with version 31, we have now made the bows progressive. So that if you find one bow, you get the bow and arrows, and if you find both bows, you would get Silver's functionality. So, Illus now, having found both bows, now has bow and silver arrows.
Hitsuyan making his way through Thieves' Town.
Hitsuyan should have his item counts correct right now and knows that he has 3 items, so the 4th is on the boss.
Alright, so where does Illus go now? He needs the Titan's mitts, needs the mirror.
Super Bomb.
Oh, this looks like a pod play?
Super Bomb. Super Bomb,
Oh, Super Bomb, duh, of course. He just got the 5-6 crystal. I can track.
Thankfully, we do have a tracker in star 14681, keeping those items up to date for you. And keeping the information straight up here in the booth for us. Good segue into that there, Ricky. Thanks for the opening. Flying down for Hitsuyan.
Boots, this was Ambrosia, so when the seed starts with the uncle gives a hint about Boots in this Ambrosia mode.
Yes, and the Boots hint was for Swamp Palace, which our runners do not currently have access to yet. We need the mirror and the flippers in order to be able to enter there. But once we can full clear and hunt for those boots. And that will most definitely be a priority 1 once they have that available action.
Yes.
Alright. Super Bomb exploding right now, and we're about to see 2 more item checks here on the Pyramid Fairy. Piece of heart. And another piece of heart.
Of course. 40 minutes in, we're still 2 items short for getting into Swamp Palace. Need both the flippers and the mirror.
At this point, based on what we have, there is pretty much only 3 options we have. We check Skullwood's front for the 1 item that's there, which is very unlikely they'll do that.
Right.
They go to Desert and check for 1 item, which is equally as unlikely. Or to go to Pod, which has 4 items that they can find. 5 if they can navigate the Darkness and go to the boss. I think Pod is going to be at the play here in a little bit, for at least one of our runners. And I don't think either runner checked Desert Ledge, so Desert does have that item as well.
Didn't check Desert Ledge when he went to do Agina?
I think he just went straight to Agina and did not go over to Desert Ledge.
It's possible. I mean, I have no recollection of what Desert Ledge was, if he did.
I would have made a note of it in my head if I saw it too, yeah. Anyway, here we go. Illus heading to Palace of Darkness. This is the most item-dense play and the most sound play, honestly.
Meanwhile, Hitsuyan is going to activate his flute. So yeah, unfortunately, Hitsuyan is a bit behind, but we are still pretty early in the seed, and anything could happen. If this turns out to be a pedestal seed, he is actually ahead.
Yeah, I'd say Hitsuyan is behind in terms of checks, but is ahead in terms of combat, which is definitely going to turn the tide at some point. Because right now, as we know, Illus is not going to get the tempered sword that was on... There's the Titan Spits!
Oh no.
Okay, never mind
Okay.
what we just said. Hitsuyan now in the advantage here.
Yeah,
Here's the location.
absolutely. Oh, Illus needed to check that. Well, that's what the boots were for. The boots. That's what the book was for.
Now, but actually, we still may not be able to do desert right now. Let's see what's on in this chest right here.
Well, he doesn't need to do desert to get the mitts, though.
No, but he may want to do it, you know, to get the crystal while he's here.
Oh, that's true. I forgot it's a crystal.
And right now, there's only one item in the big key that's available. Big key. So the dungeon's not boots locked, at least. But the second item might still be. Meanwhile, here in Palace of Darkness, 4 small keys in the front plus 2 items to start things off. It's basically, he has to have 4 small keys there in order to prevent soft locks. With mismanaging your keys. Torch in desert has the item and it's 10 arrows.
Right, so who needs boots for desert then?
I mean, we still need boots.
Well, we still need boots, but not necessarily for desert.
Nope. Actually, we just might need the boots just to go fast, but hey, I'll still take that over anything else. Illus spending a key to get a key, meanwhile, in Palace of Darkness.
And Hitsuyan?
Titan Spins.
Yep.
And there's the last key. Hitsuyan immediately flew into 6 to check the mire area. There's a lot of checks now for Hitsuyan.
Yes.
Bombos to enter Misery Mire.
Okay. That's good news. Since it's the green pendant.
Mirror.
Oh.
Alright. That is a huge find for Hitsuyan there.
Yeah, Illus needs to get over there ASAP. This pendant pod dip is not working out so far.
Now, I don't blame Illus for taking the pod play. This is the more item-dense location. I would have done the same thing.
Absolutely.
It just is not going to be working out for him in the long run. However, at the same time, Illus could find the fire rod or the lamp. Well, I don't think you can find the lamp anymore.
Illus needs to find something in pod for this to work out for him.
Yeah. And even then, well, actually no, it's a pendant.
Yeah, it's a pendant.
First item, shovel.
Okay.
Not immediately helpful, but it could be something important later.
It would be massively trolly if it turned out to be important.
Indeed. That was an item in the dark. It looks like it may have been the map.
So there is definitely an item in the big chest, and then of course the item on Hemelsar.
20 rupees. Hitsuyan, meanwhile, can use the mirror to check Hera and then Dark Death Mountain.
Mirror in the mire shed.
Yeah, the Titan's bets were unfortunately also on Desert Ledge.
Okay, well, logically, once Illus finishes with Pod, which it does look like he's doing a full clear of it, or he has to be doing a full clear of it. The next logical place for him to go would be Desert Ledge, correct? I mean, where else does he have to go at this moment without the Titan's Mitts?
Or not Swamp, but Skullwoods, my mistake. I misspoke there.
Skullwoods, right.
Yeah, it's only going to be for one item because we need the Fire Rod to get the other one on the walk himself. But he might still track that because it's a little bit faster than going to the desert. But at the same time, he has the flute. He can just flute the sticks and go check the desert ledge real quick, which in this case would be the ideal play for him to make.
Absolutely.
And for all we know, those rods, we have not found a single one of them. And as it stands now, we do have access to the pedestal, minus the lamp logic, for each of these dungeons.
And minus Bombos as well for Meyer.
That is also true. Crystal obtained for Hitsuyan.
Yeah, if it's pedestal, Hitsuyan has the advantage with Eastern Palace, but Illus is about to even that out with finishing Pod. So they'll each have a pendant apiece in a few minutes.
Clever use there of Illus to use the Ether Medallion to kill the turtles that have been flipped over.
Nice.
Alright. First
We're
look
about
at
to
Dark Death Mountain.
Yep, and we're about to find out what the medallion is for TR.
And it is Quake.
Alright. Oh,
so
and with the King of Samaria, they can actually go inside and check the first chest at the very least.
yeah, and if it's a small key, they can check the Chain Chomp chest. And if it's another small key, they can check the Lava chest or the Vanilla Big Key chest if you prefer. And if that's the big key, then they can go. Then they can pretty much go all the way to Laser Ridge, I think. There's the fourth sword was on the Sword King.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. That was too funny. So
Yeah, it was.
There's a sword.
Hitsuyan. That's
Oh no!
that is Swamp Palace access. And
And
the lamp as well.
Okay.
Rods for go mode now for Hitsuyan.
Alright, Illus, go to the desert. Go. Oh, you're doing the shovel check first. Okay. Do the shovel, then go to the desert.
You know, this shovel could be the saving grace here for Illus. He needs to dig up a rod right now to stand a chance. Otherwise, he's got some major catching up to do.
This seed put both of the upgraded swords in different pendant dungeons.
Yep. Shovel leads to the Cane of Burna. Not what we wanted to see, unfortunately. We wanted to see one of the rods.
Okay. Okay, good, Illus, good. Yeah, take a look, what you should have done before. Yeah, okay.
And
yeah, he's mad.
And to Illus's credit, he's not that far behind. Still.
Yeah, that...
And with the sword, that does speed things up for the remainder of the seed. So,
yes,
Over is taking a pendant dungeon that he didn't need to do, potentially. And still getting a tempered sword out of the deal, so...
Yeah. However, Hitsuyan is about to get those boots. He is going into Swamp Palace.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind right now that Hitsuyan has the advantage here. But if the ice rod is in a particularly bad location, Illus stumbles onto it first, then Illus might just pull this game back from the ashes.
Yeah, if it takes too long to find the ice rod or fire rod, Hitsuyan could very well be tricked into going to pod, which would even this out.
Correct. And for all we know, one of the rods could be on pedestal at this point. We don't know yet.
This is true.
We can use the book to check, but we don't know yet. The only thing we know for sure is Hitsuyan will be finding the boots in a moment. They weren't in the first available chest. In fact, it was the big key in the first available chest.
Illus picking up his Titan's mitts. Now he needs to flute to 6 and check Mire Shed. Where is he going? 6, 6. Okay, good. Excellent. So he's going to get his mirror.
Yeah, and then if he goes straight to Hookshot Cave, he's basically caught up at this point.
So, to answer chat, this is an ambrosia seed. At the start of the seed, the uncle gives you a hint about where the boots are. And in this case, he said Swamp Palace.
Yeah, and this seed could still go a multitude of ways here.
Illus gets his mirror.
Map in the meantime for Hitsuyan. Gonna open up the big chest now and see if he goes backside first. Nope. Because he found map and compass, there's 2 items on the left side. And that's a problem. Illus seems to have floated the key.
Yes, but he has the Cane of Samaria. He could, diver down it.
Oh, he's gonna dive her down no matter what. Bombs, cane, he can do it either way, I think.
Ooh, that didn't work.
He had it, but it did not have... He had it correct, but unfortunately he got dislodged.
Ouch.
Unfortunately, getting dislodged again.
3rd time's a charm.
Now here's the nice thing here. What Hitsuyan did there with the bomb, once he goes to get the key from the flooding, he needs to move a little bit to the left here and then go up. I think.
See, this is why I haven't learned the bomb strat yet. I just use Samaria.
The bomb strap is a little bit more viable here. Alright, it's on the right pixel, but it needs to move left a little bit.
Why? Not working.
He's doing it right, he's just not, I think, moving correctly after the fact.
Right, but like at this point, like there's only so much time he can spend trying to get this. Because every moment he spends on this, Illus is catching up. There he goes.
And here's the thing, he had to do it because he had the bomb set up that way so he could flip the switch, and he also flooded his key, so he had to leave the dungeon.
Well, not necessarily. I've done Samaria right there. Samaria works right there, and he has Samaria. He could have just changed tactics.
That is true, but one would have to assume that if he's doing the bomb setup, he may not know the Samaria setup, and vice versa.
Alright, Illus gets his flippers. And
there's
his lamp.
as well.
So he's going to be heading straight to Swamp Palace.
Tia, meanwhile, finds a 3rd bottle with the fairy in it. 2nd one picked up. 3rd one total. We've had 3 bottles to see that we've seen. There's blue mail as well. We have seen 3 bottles of seed. And all 3 of those bottles that we've seen, one of which we've ignored picking up, but all of them have had fairies in them. What the heck?
Alright, so the boots are in the back of Swamp Palace.
Probably even on Argus himself. Still, armor is a great thing to have.
Yes.
And to answer your question, chat, yes, bottles in this game can have random contents in them. And we just happen to roll fairies 3 times in a row, basically.
Hitsuyan not even going to bother doing diver down in the back.
Yeah, I think Hitsuyan's wasted enough time with diver down. Once he flooded the key, he was committed to doing it on the left side swamp. But he's wasted enough time, so he's not going to do it anymore. Makes sense to me. Piece of heart, and there are the boots.
There they are. We got speed.
One more item here in the waterfall checks, and then we fight Argus for the last one. It's another piece of heart, which gets Hitsuyan started on the 2nd row.
Right, so Illus is, what, 3/4 of a swamp palace behind Hitsuyan at this point?
Yeah. Hitsuyan not having successful diver down on the first try definitely sunk some time into it, which let Illus catch up a bit. He still has an advantage going forward, though, with being slightly ahead. But it's definitely evened up at this point. If he goes to Pod looking for the rods, that advantage is gonna shift over to Illus real fast.
It'll be interesting to see if Illus decides to do the back first, and then just take the risk of skipping left side swamp. Which would be a risk. I mean, a risk that would pay off, we know, but he doesn't.
We're into Rubies and Arcus in the meantime. And there's in the crystal for Illus. Or Hitsuyan, sorry.
Crystal number 3 for Hitsuyan. Wow, we're an hour into this, and that's only crystal number 3.
Yeah, but I expect them to be coming in pretty fast now that we have those boots.
Yes.
No pun intended. Alright, new check here with the Bombos tablet.
Oh, and Illus is going straight to the back first. So he's going to get those boots very soon. Oh,
Fire Rod on the Bombos tablet!
Oh, no, it's an Ice Rod hunt.
Honestly, that's a good thing for Illus. Because Illus will definitely be checking that in a moment.
Gets the bomb diver down first try in the back. Nicely done. Gets his boots. Dash into Argus.
Now, I can see Illus leaving those 2 items behind, but at the same time, as far as Illus is concerned, those 2 items might be both rods.
Yes.
So he'll probably go back in and check them. There's the
Ice Rod
for Hitsuyan!
What the heck?
This thing just suddenly exploded into a go mode!
Oh, wow.
That's a 1-hour go mode!
And both rods were locked behind the mirror.
Both rods were locked behind the mirror, which was locked behind the Titan's fence. Oh my goodness! And both swords were locked behind Pendant Dungeon.
Okay, so yeah, Illus needs to go straight to Bombo's tablet and K45, but there's a good chance he checks left side swamp first.
So, Hitsuyan now heading to the 4 corners of Hyrule to clear the dungeons, pretty much. He heading to the southwest first to deal with Desert. We'll have to head to the northwest to deal with Skull Woods, southeast to deal with Ice Palace, and then the northeast to deal with Turtle Rock.
Leaving left side swamp.
That's the play Illus needs to play right now. Not gonna have the blue mail, but right now, checking these mirror lock locations is super important for Illus.
Yeah,
We don't have a race here.
If he picks up Fire Rod here, he might jump over to Desert Palace. He needs to not do that.
Fluting.
Where is he going?
Red Mail on a Moldorm. He's going to desert.
Okay.
Now, that is not to say that Illus will still not check Skullwoods or K45 after the fact.
Right. It's just, it's scary.
Yeah, Illus is choosing to get some dungeon clears done now. But at this point, the longer Illus takes to not check Caves Alpha Grove, otherwise known as K45, the bigger of a lead Hitsuyan is going to build.
It really depends on what Illus does next, because if he goes to Ice Palace to do a full clear Ice Palace looking for that Ice Rod, that's GG's, essentially.
Well, here's
or heck,
the thing.
even Skull Woods.
Well, here's the thing. If you're going into ice, ideally you want to go on Ice Palace. That's the mentality every runner seems to have, and I can understand it at the same time. So, Illus will probably check Overworld for the Ice Rod before checking all the dungeons. At the same time, Illus should probably go all in and then go for Ice Rod after the fact.
Wow, that was a clean Silvers Lamolus fight.
Indeed. There's the armor now for Illus.
Oh, Hitsuyan has Red Mail then.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Alright.
And welcome everyone from SpeedGaming. Hitsuyan is in go mode with the Ice Rod. Illus needs to find the Ice Rod. It is in Cave 45. So right now, Hitsuyan is go moding the last few dungeons, while Illus is following behind to Skull Woods.
Yeah. This seed has been quite the interesting tale, to say the least. Boots were in Swamp Palace here in this Ambrosia seed, and both runners did a pendant dungeon. And the item that was on the boss of that pendant dungeon was one of the sword upgrades we had.
And those are two different pendant dungeons, by the way.
Yes. Armos had a sword. Helmasaur had a sword. Master Sword, that was in the dam. So both runners have that. And this has been one huge train of checks that Hitsuyan's been on. Started with the Titan's Mist, which were on Desert Ledge, immediately flew to the mire, or got up the mirror, went up Death Mountain, found the flippers and the lamp in the Hookshot Cave, and that led to our boots. And then the mirror also led to our Fire Rod, which was in Bombo's Tablet, and our Ice Rod, which is in K45. What a lightning fast seed. We literally hit go mode 5 minutes ago.
Hitsuyan now in Ice Palace, while Illus takes on the Moth.
Nice moth fight. Meanwhile, Hitsuyan doing a nice little trick here.
Nicely
and yes,
done.
That is what we call Icebreaker, folks.
Yeah, and here we go. Illus is going to do full clear of Skull Woods looking for that Ice Rod.
That is unfortunately not what Illus wanted to do.
And now he's gonna have to full clear the front. Hitsuyan, meanwhile, go-moding Ice Palace, not even bothering to check any of the chests. He's totally fine.
Well,
Red mail, silvers, tempered sword.
wait, Illus is fluting.
Oh, heck. Oh, but now he's going to Ice
And
Palace.
To be fair, in his mind, he's probably hoping that it's in a dungeon on the way. Which, in all other accounts, would be a good play to make.
Absolutely.
But in this case, we know where the ice rod is, and it's not in a dungeon, it's in the overworld. Nice spin set up there for the cold stare. 1, 2, 3.
There they go. Yeah, it also hurts a bit to see, like, Hitsuyan just went through Ice Palace in go mode, while Illus is full clearing Ice Palace right after him.
And I was looking for a while there that Illus had the advantage of the race, but as soon as those Titan hits happen, that's when Hitsuyan started getting ahead.
Because everything Illus needed was locked behind the Titan's mitts.
And even then, Hitsuyan at the time had the combat advantage with Titan having its early tempered sword. Whereas Illus didn't have a tempered sword until full clearing of Palace of Darkness, which ended up having nothing. There's the Bombos medallion!
No!
Hitsuyan on his way to Turtle Rock.
If he follows that to Meyer...
That's game over.
You didn't need to do that, Illus.
Muscle memory, most likely.
Hitsuyan, making his way up to Turtle Rock, gets dead rocked.
Ah, dead rocks. Always so annoying. Now, a little known fact, if you really don't like dead rocks, you can waste a few seconds to hit them with the Quake Medallion, and they'll turn to slime items.
Okay, so Illus is skipping the remaining chests?
Yeah. Illus is going for the
Did he get 2 items already?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Illus at this point is going for the boss items. Because he definitely didn't get the second item out of Skull Woods.
Right.
And yeah, someone was pointing out, chat, you can use Quake on the dead rocks, but not while they're turned to stone. Unfortunately, when they're in that form, they are completely invincible.
Illus has a very good cold stare fight.
That's an excellent cold stare fight, keeping them all trapped in the corner. Has the mirror in hand. Let's see where Illus goes next.
K45. K45. Not Meyer.
If we see a flute and a mirror, it's gonna be Meyer, unfortunately. Good for me wrong though. Flute. Come on, go to 3.
Not Meyer. Not Meyer.
1.
Huh? Oh, okay, so was he hoping Ice Rod's inside Turtle Rock?
Yep.
Oh, that's gonna be a double dip of TR.
Now, that is the last crystal for Illus, so he's hoping, beyond hope, that he's in go mode. Unfortunately, we know he's not.
Yeah. Illus getting kind of bullied by the Pokies and Slimes in here.
Yeah, those Pokebogos are not really nice. Neither of these chain chops, if they get their bite on you. They'll probably take 3 hearts of damage, I think, with that red mail on.
No. Illus already did Desert Palace. He is down to one last. They both have one last crystal in TR.
Yeah, I've been behind the control panel on the tracker before, folks. I can tell you this much. It likes to eat inputs.
Yeah,
so,
it does.
If something is not lit up right away, that's probably why.
And sometimes it'll eat one particular input multiple times.
Big key is vanilla in Turtle Rock, so we will need to check Laser Ridge for this last small key.
So Hitsuyan is in Turtle Rock doing his go mode clear. Needs to open the chest so he finds all the keys, of course. Illus is also in TR doing a full clear, which he won't be able to finish because the ice rod is not here.
Hitsuyan is going to take the shortcut path though instead of going right. This makes sense because he needs to check the bait chest in case it has a small key in it.
Yes.
It also serves to be a checkpoint in case he dies, which is very unlikely at this point, but can still happen. Hitsuyan dashing into that cave doorway. Smart that he did so because there are actually these little bugs that spawn out of that particular entrance. The only other entrance that it does that is in the mire as you're heading to Vitreous. And they are just basically a tripping point. They don't hurt that much. But they endlessly spawn as well, so if you're unlucky and they choose to spawn when you're walking through, you could get hit and waste maybe a second at most. But dashing, you'll just carve right through them every single time. Ten arrows on Laser Ridge, followed up by 3 bombs. There's the small key. Alright. Crystal number 7 coming up here quickly for Hitsuyan. Just has to defeat Trinex. And if any, in a tradition means anything, I'm pretty sure if a lot of people are getting ready. We'll get to that in just a moment.
Right.
We're gonna wait for Trinex to be dead, of course. Trinex does get some ice off that will slow down Hitsuyan a little bit, but not too much. Alright, 2 spins here. 1, 2, and a slash. There we go. Alright, folks. In a few short moments, we will have the 7th crystal. And a piece of heart. And folks, there it is. There's the 7th crystal. And real quick, folks, I hope you're ready. We have a game we like to play. We have 22 chests in the basement of Ganon's Tower, only one of which can have the big key we need to ascend to finish the seed. Give us a number in chat and tell us where you think that big key is. Let those guesses fly, folks, because we have maybe about 15 to 30 seconds to get your guesses in for this game.
And
Ricky, where do you think the guess is going to be?
Well, real fast. If you put your number in before the game activated, go ahead and do it again. I think the big key is gonna be at number 7. Let's say, you know, number 9. Let's say 9.
I went 8, so let's see if I'm right. All right, you folks are ready for that. Good on ya.
A few of them jumped the gun too.
Yeah. All right.
Here we
Close.
go.
Let's see where the big key is as we start by checking the hope room. Fire
That's
shield in chest
one.
1. Chest number 2. Big key
2.
already.
That was number 2.
Fast big key here. Counterfelt Saint is the winner of the big key guessing game here with a guess of 2. And Eagle 3 also guessed 2, but was not the first person to do so. But both of you, good job on guessing the correct chest this time. This seed has been pretty much a jet seed on all rights, to be honest. I should have expected this much for the big key to be early as well.
And Illus, not fighting Ice Rod in TR, has to leave. Where does he go now?
Back into ice. No, warping.
No?
Oh, he's gonna check Lumberjack, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna check Lumberjack. Probably Pedestal right after.
Well, he'll be at least be pleased to see that it's not those, although we might see something else we haven't seen yet. We still haven't seen that 4th bottle, we haven't seen the powder yet. Heart container.
Okay.
And we know Zora has nothing because Hitsuyan did fake flippers and fully cleared the flipper checks without them. Illus following the boots. Unfortunately, the boots were just to go fast to see. They were not reflect. You know, they helped out Hitsuyan just a little bit in getting that small key off the torch. Although in the next room there was a small key anyway, so that was kind of a moot point.
Hitsuyan has an excellent Lanmola's silvers.
Indeed. Lambo 2 down, moving on to the next floor, which is my favorite floor, the Wizard floor. Because you do stuff like this. So clean when you execute it, and that's the easy one though. This is the real good one to get. Perfect.
Nice.
It's very tricky to get all 3 of those with Samaria and then get the 4th for your sword. Illus is checking pedestal.
Giving us the ped check. Makes him the winner in chat's eyes.
Technically not wrong. And on pedestal today we had Couch Cash. 20 rupees.
Yeah, Hitsuyan did an excellent job just following the item logic. Got the mitts, went to Dark Death Mountain, got the flippers and lamp. Oh, and got the mirror in Mire Shed. And then after doing Swamp Palace, followed the mirror checks on the overworld, and that gave him go mode.
Yeah, nothing wrong against Illus's play today.
Oh, absolutely not. Illus was focusing on dungeon clearing, which was absolutely the, not necessarily right play today, but, you know, usually the right play.
Yeah, especially when you have bosses with guaranteed items. And that 20 rupees is, ironically, also vanilla from the Moldorm chest.
Can't tell you how many times I've done a full clear of the overworld only to discover, oh, everything was in dungeons. You know, so, yeah, that worked out for Hitsuyan today.
Yeah, don't be too impressed by that Moldorm chest being vanilla, though. We have 28. We literally have 28 red rubies in the pool. That is literally a 1 in 8 chance of it happening.
Yeah, especially with go mode like this. Oops.
Indeed. I got 2 fight happening right now. Getting some go. Oh, this is a really good pattern here. Nicely done. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Aga 2 has been defeated, and now it is time for Hitsuyan to fight big. tempered sword and silver arrows in hand. It'll be 12 slashes for the first 2 phases, or 6 spin attacks to advance Ganon through his first 2 phases. After which he'll enter phase 3, which is important because he will start teleporting around randomly. Those fake teleports are seeded so that the first time around, both runners have the same teleport patterns. After 4 hits, Ganon will go into his darkness technique, phase 4. Keep the torches lit, stun him with the sword, let loose 4 silver arrows, and you win the fight. That simple.
Illus, meanwhile, saves and quits and deletes his portal back into the back of TR. See where he's going now.
Hitsuyan getting a 2-cycle phase 1 there.
Oh no, it looks like a mire dip.
That's unfortunate for Illus. Hitsuyan looks like he's going to use the cape here to get a 1 cycle on phase 2. Smart, because those fire bats are very annoying. Easily the most dangerous phase in the fight. And if Hitsuyan does not hit Ganon right away, he will shoot a spiraling fire bat at you for this phase. And I believe the fire bats in this phase onward do not actually have knockback, but they reverse your control, so you actually push yourself into the pits because you're trying to keep yourself out of them.
Wait. Is that's what's happening? It's
Yep.
reverses.
If you don't put any inputs in, you actually don't get any knockback whatsoever from the bats. But that's the 4th silver arrow, folks, and that's GG for Hitsuyan1337 and Team Awesome, going 2-0 in the series. Game 3 to follow tomorrow morning.
I'm sorry, I'm rebooting from that revelation just now. GG's, Hitsuyan.
That is first place with official SRL time of 1 hour, 24 minutes, 8 seconds. That is a new PB by nearly 10 minutes. GG. And coming in soon after, Illus, to no one's surprise, has forfeited from the race. It is unfortunate that he got tripped up by that ice rod. It was in a really tricky location. We're gonna get these guys in here for an interview in just a little bit, though, folks. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and give you guys the schedule here as we get forward here. Never mind, we're joined now by Illus and Hitsuyan. GG to you both. Great race here. And it was fairly close up until the end of Swamp Palace there. Walk us through your thoughts there.
Yeah, GG Hitsu. I got unlucky against you once again. It's bad, man. But yeah, I figured given the times, even if I had picked up the ice rod after the fire rod, I don't think I would have won in this case. Because my mids were like super late anyway, so I decided to not touch Smith Chain and all the area around it. So that's how it goes then.
It was actually a lot closer than you realized, Illus, if I may be honest. Hitsuyan actually was doing left side swamp and was doing diver down with the bomb setup, but actually had a little bit of trouble there, which actually he made you catch up. You both were in Swamp Palace at the same time.
Oh, that's curious. Yeah, I decided to cut a lot of corners, and I guess he had the he had the ice rod by that time though, so I still needed to find it basically.
He actually found the ice rod after finding the fire rod, in which you also did the same thing. He basically, all this came down to is he decided to go to Cave 45 after Bombos, and you went to go do dungeon clears because you knew you had the fire rod at that point. And that's really what tipped the scales in this scene here. Both of you were extremely close up until that point. It could have gone either way depending on how the fights went.
Well, I didn't quite feel that way, simply because most people would just check the ledge, like the desert ledge, and I didn't, because that's usually not a play I do in the early game. I would do it at some point with the flute and mids, but obviously the mids were up there, so, you know, it was a bit unlucky. But, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't miss it that close.
Yeah, and I'm gonna agree with you there. This scene pretty much came down to luck, and unfortunately, the luck wasn't with you today. But hopefully,
Well, that's no surprise.
hopefully your teammate Goomba can keep you guys alive for one more game. And that, of course, is going to be tomorrow at 9:10 a.m., folks. Get up early for that. That will be on Speed Gaming Original. Well, and that is in all dungeons key sanity rates. And Hitsuyan, you haven't chimed in yet. Do you have anything to add to the scene?
Yeah, not really. I also, after sawing that I won, I was thinking Illus maybe missed that he went to desert maybe after the book instead of Eastern maybe. So there was a lot of thinkings because both Dark World items were early accessible, and yeah. After Swamp I was thinking, okay, I do the Noah locations because my next plan would be Desert, Skullwoods, and then Turtle Rock, and then save my portal there maybe. That's why I did a lot of Noah locations before going to Skullwoods after the Firewall.
So, I'll tell you this much. We did find all 4 swords between the two of you. And
Yeah, well, yeah.
hilariously,
Mine was on Hermosoking.
Armor set the other.
yeah, both Arbos and Helmsor King each had a sword. And you both did the other one. You
Yeah,
both fought
like-
each of the Fed bosses. It was...
By the time I was in Port, I had like 3 other locations, so I needed to go for Hermosoking. And I thought maybe that sword might help me, but yeah, little did I know.
Yeah, it really... Again, this thing pretty much came down to just luck, I'd say. This could have gone either way had you both taken the same route. Out of my mind. But GG's to you both as well, and Team Awesome, 1 game away from being in the Dark World Conference Finals here. You're looking to keep that title from the Season 1.
Yeah, we keep to try never losing this league now. One draw.
And again,
Well,
this is... And by my understanding, this is actually a rematch from Season 1 as well, with Game 5.
Yeah, I had to play some AD keys with Hitsu, and there was this infamous hammer jump incident. At which time I did not know that drops from enemies can influence your bomb jump trajectory. So and people told me I cannot hammer jump as a meme. So that happened in game 5, which was severely unlucky as well. As I said, I'm never lucky against Hitsu.
Well, you just taught me something new. I actually did not know that drops can affect trajectory.
Yeah, it's you heard of Herapod? If Modorm drops something, or if the mini Modorm, like the northmost enemy, drops something and it doesn't land properly before you pick it up, then your trajectory from your bomb jump changes.
Yeah.
And that can happen for the hammer jump in pod as well, when you try it from the top.
That's why I fail Herapod sometimes.
And
that's good information to know. That is something not many people would actually keep in mind. That's to know.
I needed to learn that the hard way.
Alright, well, GG's to you both again, folks. Again,
GG,
Game 3
GG,
will be
bro.
Goomba versus Raymond on Speed Gaming at 9:10 a.m. Set your alarms. That's going to be early game. That is an all dungeons key sandy. It is the power match between these two. And should Goomba win, he keeps the last locations alive for a Game 4, which will be at a later point in time. As far as today goes, though, we have one more match on the schedule for you folks. It is Team Kappa and Team CLW over on the Light World Conference side of things. They're going to be fighting on the ALTTPR League at 9:10 p.m. tonight. Hey, if we get commentators for that as well. So that one's going to be a little bit in the air, but we're going to hopefully get a restream for you guys set up for that as well. And again, Goomba vs. Raymond is going to be the earliest match tomorrow on Wednesday, with the next match following it going to be Team Parami will give an interview if we win versus Team Pendrena Drifters. Gem versus Megawatt, that is at 310. Reaching to be determined. But most importantly, though, folks, make sure to follow these two runners, putting on an excellent race for us today. Hey, I certainly enjoyed it. And, of course, make sure to follow my co-commentator, Ricky Okakuri, and our
Who
tracker.
has rebooted? Just let's chat now. I am fine, thank you.
And, of course, our tracker, Star14681 as well. And, of course, we're on SpeedGaming 2. Make sure to follow SpeedGaming, SpeedGaming's 2 through 6, so you don't miss any racing action, not just the Link to Fast Randomizer League. And like I said earlier, we are hosting a race on the ALTTPR League. We make sure to follow the ALTTPR League and the ALTTPR League 2 through 4, so that you can catch any races that we cannot feature on SpeedGaming. And you can go ahead and follow me as well. I have been Wolfling0270, and from all of us here at the Link to Fast Randomizer League, we shall see you all next time. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone.
Hey.